What's going on, guys? Today I'm doing a bit of a different video. This is the start of a potential new series called Roller Coaster Stereotypes. Today I'm joined by Colin from Coliwood Studios, where we will be looking at the stereotypes of Cedar Fair. Cedar Fair tends to be held in a more positive light by members of the coaster community, especially compared to Six Flags. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some of the company's most common stereotypes across their parks, both good and bad. Colin has a video out on Six Flags stereotypes on his channel, so after you check out this video, make sure to go watch that one. That said, let's hop into some Cedar Fair stereotypes.
This is something that the majority of the coaster community seems to agree upon. Cedar Fair, while they have less total parks than Six Flags, tend to have overall better parks than Six Flags. I mean, you'd certainly hope that they could beat out this guy. Their parks all have a very similar feel, full of many relatively good coasters with nice landscaping around all of their parks. When you've gone to multiple Cedar Fair parks, you start to see many similarities between them all. Compare this to Six Flags, whose parks vary greatly from being really well themed and excellently looking to having concrete everywhere or just being a little more outdated than other parks. Cedar Fair's standout coasters also tend to be a bit better than Six Flags' standout coasters, at least when looking at the top 5. Cedar Fair has Steel Vengeance, Fury 325, Intimidator 305, Ghost Rider, Maverick, and so many other spectacular coasters. Six Flags does have El Toro, X2, and a whole bunch of really good RMCs and hypercoasters. El Toro and X2 are amazing, but the rest are just smaller versions of Steel Vengeance and hypercoasters of varying quality. While yes, they're still really good rides, they don't really stack up to the quality that Cedar Fair has. Cedar Fair also tends to have unique themes, or at the very minimum, unique names.
The Joker, coming to Discovery Kingdom. Six Flags Great America, Six Flags New England, and Six Flags over Texas will be on the highest alert for the evil villain and his incredible new free fly coaster, the Joker. Coming to Six Flags Fiesta Texas, now open year-round, DC's The Joker.
Well, yes, they're still good. They don't stack up to the quality of Cedar Fair. All around, Cedar Fair does quality quite a bit better than Six Flags does.
Cedar Fair definitely tends to prioritize the quality of their new attractions over how many they build. Cedar Fair builds some extremely expensive coasters like Fury 325, Orion, Copperhead Strike, and many others, all of which cost way over $20 million.
This is extraordinary!
Oh, it's fine, I suppose. But you probably have even nicer things at your mansion.
The Joker.
Compare this to Six Flags, who make sure every park gets at least one new ride, at least in the past, every year, but the quality of those rides, at least in terms of price, is not that high. Cedar Fair tends to neglect the smaller, less profitable parks in the chain by practically adding nothing. When they do get a new ride, it's usually a small cookie-cutter flat ride. Parks like Michigan's Adventure, Worlds of Fun, Dorney Park, and Valley Fair have been pretty brutally neglected by the company, with all of these parks not having received a new ground-up roller coaster in upwards of 10 years.
Police! Police! Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
Like I mentioned earlier, when you've been to multiple Cedar Fair parks, you will definitely start to notice many similarities and patterns across the parks. They also are able to separate themselves into different tiers across the chain's parks. Cedar Point is pretty much in a league of its own, with a resort-like feel that no other park can replicate. Knott's Berry Farm is also pretty distinct from the rest of the pack, being more of a theme park than any of the other parks. Kings Island, Kings Dominion, Carowinds, Canada's Wonderland, and California's Great America are all from the same ownership of Paramount, so naturally they have many similarities. They all have similar rides, appearances, and tend to have a lot of big concrete paths around. Their newer rides also tend to have similar entrances to one another, with a huge logo in front of the ride and a plaza in front. Then there's the rest of the parks, or the lower tier parks, that they're all very nice looking, but they have very similarly old rides with similar entrances, and everything just feels a little old and outdated. Again, that's not to say these parks look bad by any means, they all just kind of look the same. That's an enthusiast nitpick, but this is an enthusiast video, so it automatically makes it a valid complaint. Next.
Michigan's Adventure tends to get a bad rap, supposedly being seen as the weakest link of the Cedar Fair chain. I personally think that this park looks fine. I've never been to it, but some people have loved it and some people have hated it, like an unnamed coaster enthusiast. It can't be as bad as Darien Lake, but hey, at least they tried to run 2 trains on their Star roller coaster. Alright, that was a joke, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I like this park better than a few Six Flags parks like Darien Lake. Hopefully Cedar Fair gives this park an actually decent attraction in the somewhat near future, but they probably won't because they are worried that somehow it would take away from Cedar Point's attendance. Also, please get the other 3 parks you don't care about a coaster as well.
Cedar Point is without a doubt Cedar Fair's favorite, which is completely understandable. While Cedar Point isn't in the most highly populated area, it really doesn't need to be. It's meant to be a destination park, and they're definitely trying to push it into becoming somewhat of a full-on resort in the style of Universal. The park has to have massive record-breaking coasters for the newsworthiness factor of it, as that's their main draw, the coaster capital of the world. If the coaster capital of the world doesn't have the greatest, most insane new coasters, then it really doesn't deserve that title. While I do think Cedar Fair needs to figure out a way to balance out giving their big parks too much and their small parks too little, it is still very important that they keep a lot of their money flowing back into Cedar Point. The other issue with this park is that it will be packed on almost any day of the year. You're almost forced into dropping $150 on Fastlane every time you're there to have a shot at getting on major attractions at the park.
Screw it, let's take a quick song about Cedar Fair. Yo, today we be talking about Cedar Fair. Oh, yeah, the chain that is better than Six Flags that everybody knows. Cedar Fair got the roller coaster capital in the world, Cedar Point, where everyone be trying to go. When people hear about Cedar Fair neglecting their parks, they would say no. Cedar Fair put Michigan's Adventure in an ISO. When people ask, is Cedar Fair really that much better than Six Flags? And to that I say, I don't know. With that being said, that will wrap up the Cedar Fair stereotypes. Make sure to tell me in the comments below if you enjoyed this video and if you'd like to see more of these videos in the future and what you'd like to see be changed about this kind of video. Also, make sure to leave this video a like so we can beat the dreaded YouTube algorithm. Make sure to subscribe for more coaster content coming very soon. And with that said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.